This is Papa Smurf. You're listening to Our Lifestyle, the podcast, with ODB and the mayor.
This podcast is brought to you by Custom Car Show Productions, which includes 4 annual car and truck shows. Search Google or Facebook for more information on these CCSP events. Orange Beach Invasion, which is in Orange Beach, Alabama, mid-March. After Hours Car and Truck Show, Mobile, Alabama, mid-May. Scraping the Coast in Biloxi, Mississippi, each June. And Bayou Showdown, which is in Slidell, Louisiana. Again, search Google or Facebook for more information. Each of these shows are also available on Instagram. This is Our Lifestyle, the podcast, and we approve this message.
There are doubts regarding your ability to lead them.
Hey, did you end up fucking getting crazy in the camper?
The campers are rocking, don't come a knocking.
Yo, it's Our Lifestyle, the podcast, episode 227. I cannot believe it. Man, we have a lot to talk about. We've had a couple of jam-packed episodes, and man, the numbers are continued to increase unbelievably so for everyone that continues to rock with us and that we picked up from some of these recent shows we've been at, slapping hands, bumping elbows, social distancing, doing all the craziness stuff. Thanks for coming on board, subscribing via so many different methods to listen. But let me check in with the homie. I haven't heard from him in a day or so. I think he's been working there, getting ready for Orange Beach Invasion. Biggity Mike, the mayor. Are you getting the mullet all poofed out? And what do? You get the comb going like the old school? I saw Greg shared the photo, man. I know you're ready for Orange Beach Invasion.
ODB, Orange Beach Invasion this weekend. I cannot wait. Holy cow. This is going to be absolutely beautiful weather in Orange Beach, Alabama. And if you guys have never been, you don't want to miss out, because not only are we going to be styling and profiling, but God, we got some new merchandise and I can't wait to show everyone. I think a lot of you have already seen the green shirts, but guys, we got some new license plates. And of course, our boy Joey over at Get Decked has come through once again. We're going to have 20 more decks at Orange Beach Invasion. So stop by. We're going to have some that we haven't had before. We're going to have some that we've had before, but they're back in stock. So we will have 5 more of these decks. So guys, don't miss out. I know a lot of you guys are wanting to collect every one of these decks we put out. We'll have 5 more there at 5 more styles. I'm sorry. At Orange Beach Invasion. And hey, Jay, just like you said, hey, if the trailers are rocking, don't come a knocking.
Yes, sir. It's going to be another great weekend, another great show. And speaking of a great show, we're actually going to have Greg Miller on this episode. Now, the good thing is we're not going to just talk about Orange Beach Invasion, which is this weekend in Orange Beach, Alabama. Greg, we've heard from him in the past, but I think this time what you're going to find is there's a real rich history there of going back 3+ decades, talking about car shows, how he got involved in the custom automotive scene, and what he's continuing to do to push the limits with just awesome events, throughout the Southeast. But Mike, this overview of episode 227 is brought to you by our friends at Graphics Mafia. You can contact Buddy or Ryan at Graphics Mafia. It's GRAPHIX Mafia.com. They're, of course, on Facebook and Instagram. Reach out to them if you're in need of stickers for your brand. They print very quickly. They'll ship them pretty much anywhere. And they came through. They always do. They came through in a pinch. We needed some for Relaxin On The Ranch this past weekend. And, dude, Ryan and Buddy knocked it out. They got them over to someone that was going to be headed south. Thanks so much to Brooke. And they got us squared away. So Buddy and Ryan at Graphics with an X Mafia, hit them up. But, Mike, again, we're going to have Greg Miller on this episode. So I think that's going to be enlightening for a lot of people. Many of you know Greg, but there's also, I'm sure, a big majority of you that don't, and you'll get a chance to hear that history of, Greg Miller, what he does, as I mentioned, and what he's going to continue to do for the custom car and truck automotive scene in general. Now, Mike, I do want to jump into the scene updates, man. Again, these past 2 episodes have been just jam-packed, and we're going to make this one as streamlined as we can because we're getting ready for this weekend. It's going to be, man, multiple weekends in a row. We're going to events, Texas, Lake Wales, and then this weekend, Orange Beach, Alabama. So we're super stoked. But, Mike, dude, speaking of shows, I mentioned Relaxin On The Ranch, dude. What a great vibe. Second-year event. You, of course, selected Relaxin On The Ranch as your 2020 show of the year. What'd you think this year, brother?
Dude, the RA Florida guys and gals did not disappoint. Once again, knocked it out of the park. What was really sad is a lot of these guys got scared off by the weather. And guys, it was absolutely gorgeous. We had a little bit of rain, but nothing to be scared of, nothing to be afraid of. You're not going to melt. And guys, going to car shows. I don't know how long you guys have been going to car shows. Been going to car shows for a long damn time. Car shows do not get canceled because of rain. Okay. I'll never forget Slam Fest in Gainesville. It was an absolute mud fest. And we still had like 300 and something cars out there in this damn field full of freaking mud and having a damn good time. So guys, don't let the weather, discourage you to going out and having a good time with those fellow mini truckers. So come on out, support the shows, keep them going and keep them growing. And once again, it was absolutely beautiful. It was nice and cool. Wasn't too hot. And just a perfect weekend, for a car show and a camping show. Had our campsite there full of people, full of friends, having a damn good time. So like I said before, hands down, my favorite camping show ever. And I can't wait for year 3.
It's going to be an awesome annual event. Again, another great weekend. I want to thank Relaxed Atmosphere Florida for all of the efforts. Obviously, putting on a show of any magnitude takes work, it takes planning, it takes execution day of event, and they did all of it fantastically. Of course, thank you so much as well to our brother Vic. They raised a good bit of money, man, and obviously he's been through a lot. I know he's very thankful. He wanted to kind of for me to just let everyone know that he appreciates the support. They pretty much had everything from AccuWear to Hammered Weekend Wear merchandise that you could potentially win. Our Lifestyle Podcast, also some metal signs. So a few things in the mix there, and then that allowed for them to raise the money. And they literally took all of those different buckets, 6-7 different buckets of raffle tickets that equated to money, and they gave all that to Vic and Dee. So they wanted me to share their gratitude with anyone that had put in for any of those items. I know Daniel Smith had painted one of the skate decks. There was some merchandise from some other vendors as well. Don't necessarily recall, but pretty cool stuff. And again, Relaxed Atmosphere. That was really awesome that they had the event. Now, Mike, the cool thing was, I guess Ron ended up, his daughter was there because she was with him. She had came into Texas for LST. She got a chance to gallivant on over here to Florida, but he decided to stay, and I don't know if you had heard all the shenanigans with Hank and everything that had went down there, man.
No, tell us a little bit about what Hank did this time. He didn't get arrested, did he?
Well, they got him off the premises, and it wasn't that he was he was just having too much fun, dude. He had about 10, 12 ladies over there in the booth. And, they were just having a good time. I mean, we don't really exactly know what they were doing, but they kind of were like, hey, man, I know Ron's hanging out tonight, man. You just got to find another place to stay. So he supposedly went ahead and hitchhiked over up down 95 somehow, and he ended up over in, like, Edgewater. So on Sunday, Ron and I had to go over there, and, basically bail him out. I think he got picked up for hitchhiking down the interstate. Can you do that in some states? Can you hitchhike on the interstates?
Bro, it's been a while since I've had to hitchhike, so I really don't know. But I'm guessing that was probably all right, because I've seen quite a few chicks that was over there, because the Hammered booth was parked, it was set up right there by ours. And there was quite a few times where the doors were closed over there at the Hammered booth.
Yeah.
And Hank was supposed to put things over there. And man, I tell you what, man, this guy can't stay out of damn trouble, dude.
Well, he's the only. Remember last year I said I remember seeing you guys' camper. I don't know, dude. I thought a windstorm had come through, gusts, because you guys' camper was like, dude, it was like hitting 3-wheel, and there's only 2 wheels on it. I think maybe there's 4. I can't remember. But with Hank, he was supposed to be bagging and tagging, and dude, I think he was doing something else in there. But he
was bagging all right.
Yeah, and when he was on the interstate, I think when he got picked up by the state troopers, they said that he told him that Large Marge sent him, and of course, that was Alice Nunn from the old Pee Wee Big Adventure. So man, he was having a good time, and he had told Ron and I he likes to just hitchhike, just for fun, man. Like on a Friday night, like you might take Shannon out, to dinner, or go get a drink, hang out in the garage or something. He'll just, he'll ask Ron to just drop him off in random places, and he'll hitchhike, state to state, just kind of hanging out. He'll drive the trucks for the big riggers. I mean, he doesn't mind helping. That's his contribution back to society.
Okay, so is there any truth that he was the one that was, in that movie Candyman? Remember Candy?
I don't know, man, but we had such a good time. Again, thanks again, all kidding aside, thanks again to all the RA Florida kinfolk. Now, speaking of RA Florida, we got a chance to see they also had their rides out there. So, Big John and a lot of them had all of their trucks there. I know Miller did as well. He got the crew cabs on the rise. But you also had Jeremy. He's got his, contrary to what a lot of people think, it's a Ram 3500. So it's a single-wheel rear truck, of course. So single rear wheel, if I could say that right. That black Ram that Jimmy's Running Customs built. Now, that thing is sick. Ironically, just last week, we saw that Street Trucks went live on Instagram. They were shooting that thing. I really hope it ends up on the cover. But kind of word was spreading around this past weekend that the truck might be gone. And this past Monday, news broke that I was headed into work pretty early Monday morning. And Brant from Graphic Disorder, one of our homies and great partners in what we do, Brant from Graphic Disorder ended up letting the cat out of the bag, Mike, that he ended up picking up the rig. And Jeremy's no stranger to building some badass shit through Jimmy's Rod and Customs. And then, of course, he's willing to sell stuff if the price is right, and apparently it was, man. Brant must have made him an offer that he just couldn't refuse, man.
Obviously, and because that is one badass truck. And like you said, and I've seen the post, and Jimmy builds badass trucks. So Brant's definitely got him a good one, that's for damn sure. So congratulations on the sale, and congratulations on your new truck there, Brant. That's one bad bitch.
Yeah, it's definitely kick-ass, and I know he's going to enjoy it, and really love seeing these newer trucks. When I was at Jimmy's Running Customs this past weekend, got a chance to see the progress on the new Ram dually that he's building for a customer, and, man, the suicide rear doors and a lot of the work that he's putting into it. Pretty much a one-man crew. Now, I know Tim does also work there. They recently did some stuff for me. So, much love to those guys, Tim and Jimmy, but I don't have the patience. I don't know how he does to be able to do these big, massive builds. And, he's got a long list of customers, but it's really a testament to the work that goes into these builds. So, again, congrats to Jeremy for the sale, RA Florida, and congrats to Brizant up at Graphic Disorder for the pickup.
So, hey, Jay, real quick question for you. You said a couple different times you were up at Jimmy's. So what exactly was you up at Jimmy's doing?
The only reason we went over there, man, was to basically bail Hank, Ron, we get them confused all the time, was just to get Hank out, man. We had to get a bail bondsman and, start signing over houses and stuff. I mean, this guy is just, he just doesn't quit. So that's the story, and we're sticking to it, man.
Okay, well, considering that you're like a 13-year-old girl and you got to put everything on Facebook.
No, I didn't put anything on Facebook.
There was some pictures floating around, and
I didn't put them up.
I do believe Jimmy was in them. I think there was an Explorer in one of those pictures, and there was I do believe a S10 maybe in those pictures.
More coming on that soon, man. More coming soon. Gotta leave the cliffhanger, dude. Gotta leave the cliffhanger.
Avoid the question, sir.
Yeah, I call it a cliz of his hanger. So more to come. We'll see, Mike.
Okay, so the $1 million question, one more, sir, one more. You're not getting off that easy. Is when will we see Bada Bing, and what show will we see Bada Bing at?
It depends where my friend wants to take it. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll leave it on that.
All right, man. Well, speaking of Orange Beach Invasion, I want to remind everyone that this weekend, not only are we going to be at Orange Beach, Alabama, which we'll talk more about with Greg, but Mike, I got to give a lot of love to Street Trucks, our favorite national publication. If you follow them on Facebook and Instagram, you will see that they've really been piping and hyping up these live streams that are coming this weekend. And the wharf is an amazing location, as Mike and I have continued to reinforce, but it's going to be really awesome. And I would say anybody that's headed to the show, you're listening to this, maybe you just got into town, or the homies are already there, spread the word that we're going to be out there all day Saturday doing interviews with owners. It's a great venue. So if you're interested, be out there by your truck, let us know, track me down. And I do still have a few of the really rare stickers left of Ms. Ike Murray, his high school photo that Dizzy from the Spark Show put together for us. So make sure you hit me up. I'll have a few of those. But seriously, let us know if you want to come on, you got something nice you want to talk about. We're going to try to do as many interviews as we can. We're also going to be floating around the show. We've got a few different perspectives that we want to bring. So, again, thanks to Street Trucks for doing these live streams. If you can't make it to OBI, I know we got family coming in from many different states, Mike. But if they can't make it, you want to tune in on Facebook or YouTube. Many of you kind of go, well, hey, how do I do it? Listen, a lot of us, if you're on your phone, you're going to get the notification on Facebook that, they're going live, right? You can give them a thumbs up. You can also go on YouTube. If you watch YouTube ever, everybody says, hit that bell notification. By tapping that bell notification, that's going to basically alert you that they're going live. So there's going to be a ton of stuff going on Saturday, Sunday, as well as Friday. So just stay tuned to Street Trucks social media. Ain't that right, Mike?
Always, because I tell you what, the team over at Street Trucks is absolutely killing it with these live streams. And I love what they're doing as far as bringing, you can't make it to the show, and they're allowing you to be able to see, what's there and see the interviews. And it's another awesome concept that they definitely come up with. And I tell you what, they've almost pretty much perfected this. And great job of what, with what you're doing as well, brother. I do have to say.
Appreciate the good word. You can also go out on YouTube right now, type in Street Trucks. You can see some of the recent clips. I know Mach 1 put together an amazing one from Lone Star Throwdown 2021, which was the 10th anniversary. Oh, by the way, they also have some of the clips out there, including me interviewing Billy Bob. So, again, we're going to continue to improve and, take it to the next level. That's what a team does, and the team's committed to that. But, Mike, these scene updates are brought to you by our family at Garage Gear Clothing. And I am working on, I think I'll have the calculator fixed next week. But, Mike, why don't you remind everyone where else you can follow Garage Gear Clothing? Because they're not just on YouTube.
No, you can actually find them on, yes, and we're talking about a bunch of grown men, especially, the bigger of the two. And that would be Lonnie. And Lonnie loves TikTok. And Lonnie is pretty damn good with TikTok. And last heard, he has over 50,000 followers on TikTok. So definitely check out Lonnie. Garage Gear, Lone Star Throwdown on TikTok.
Yeah, and GarageGearClothing.com. They offer free shipping in the United States. Good people. A lot of traction there at LST. Awesome clothing brand. Lots of different options. Kids, women's, men's, you name it. GarageGearClothing.com. So, Mike, as we kind of pivot and move to the key show updates, man, dude, it kind of feels good to have a few under our belt, man, because, you start getting to January, moving into February. If you're like me, you start getting that anxiety going, right, in a good way, because you're like, man, you're anxious. You want to get out. You want to go to these events, right? So the high level, I just want to reinforce, listen, OBIs this weekend. We're going to talk to Greg about it. But from there, Mike, basically, if you look at the calendar, it comes out to, you got 3 weeks. 3 weeks after this weekend is Sparks in the Park. So Sparks in the Park is Niceville, Florida. It's Friday the 2nd of April, the 3rd of April, the 4th of April. So here's the key to this show. It's a beautiful venue. There's a lot of shade. Many of you in Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, all those different places, Louisiana, dude, come on over. The DeCorvers, they go to so many shows, Mike, and, with Kim recently having the hiccup that they had, trying to wrap a 6-foe around a telephone pole. We're happy she's okay, but, David and Kim, they would really appreciate if you came out. And, Mike, I know they've got the Facebook group, or the event page, I should say, but they're also on Instagram, and we got to get their Instagram followers up. And, Mike, if I take a look at their Instagram, I'm going to type in Sparks in the Park, and it says it's the hottest show on the Emerald Coast. And, oh, by the way, it's a second annual car, truck, and bike show. Not only is it the motorcycles, right, like Fool's Gold last year came out, killed it. But, Mike, they also got the BMX bikes on the rise, maybe a little freestyle bikes. Now, I know you can't make it. You had told me if you were going to be able to make it, you were going to start doing some of the old school flatland tricks that that you used to do.
Oh, yeah, that was about 25 years ago and about 50 pounds lighter, homie. Come on, shit ain't happening. You talk about putting it around the telephone pole, throw it in the gutter, and go get another.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Well, Feltham Fab, one of our homies, he also had really contributed, and he's done some amazing awards. So, if you're looking for some garage art and you got something cool, listen, that's why they do these awards at shows. Come on out. We will be there. I'll be there. I'm not sure if I know for sure Maddie's not going to be able to go because she's got a friend, Nicole, coming in town. But this is the hottest show on the Emerald Coast, and it is the first weekend. Now, technically, for those that are scoring at home, it is Easter weekend. However, many of you, you're anxious to get out, and you're anxious to do stuff, and you're anxious to have a good time. Last year, Duckman, a lot of the NC crew, a lot of their NC family, they came out. DJ Gitlow was there. But come on out. We're going to have the best 80s or 90s attire. Welch's Chop Shop's working on that award, and we're super stoked for it. Okay, Mike, from there, what we really want to reinforce, and I kind of got all these dates worked out on my head finally, is 3 weekends later, we're going to be at Mini Nats, if you can believe it. So the weekend of the 23rd, 24th, 25th of April, you're going to have Mini Truckin Nationals. That's back. They're back in the catbird seat. Of course, last year they were impacted because of COVID. This year, I'm telling you, even if you don't have the golden ticket, by the way, you could have won if you were out Relaxin on the ranch. They had the raffle going for that. But even if you don't have the ticket, it's important. You come out, you support. You can buy shirts. You can buy skate decks. You can participate in our VIP party. We're going to have more information coming very soon. But you got to come to Maggie Valley. They've got that, I think, Wheels Through Time, I think it's called, Motorcycle Museum. You got plenty of restaurants. Mike, I tell you what, Maggie Valley, I've never been to Maggie Valley in April because last year was the first year I went. But you know damn well you were at the 25th. It's going to be off the hook, I heard.
Dude, Mini Nats, Mini Truckin Nationals, whatever you want to call it, is hands down the best mini truckin show in the United States. So, guys, if you're not going, you got to get there. If you've never been, you've got to go check it out. Jason Bell and the family do a phenomenal job of putting on this show. And the amount of people that come out to this thing is just, they basically, the mini truckers take over Maggie Valley, and there's 750 pre-registered. So there's 750 there in the showgrounds, and it's some of the baddest mini trucks in the United States are all there at Maggie Valley. So guys, you do not want to miss this show. If you can't come because you didn't get a ticket, there's going to be opportunities to get tickets. There's going to be guys. So stay tuned, keep your, pay attention to social media, to the event page, whatnot. There's going to be tickets coming available. When it does, grab yours so you can get into the show. Even if you can't get into the show, bring the truck down, come down to Maggie Valley, because Friday night, Saturday night, of course, is the big night, but you got all that cruising that you can do down there in Maggie Valley. And it's some of the best cruising you can do at any show. So make sure you guys check it out.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. We cannot wait. Hopefully we'll see the Trucks Rosa's crew. We'll see a lot of amazing mini trucks rolling up and down the strip. And it's going to be an awesome time. So come on out, Mini Truck Nats, a.k.a. Mini Nats. You can follow social media. We'll have so much more coming on that. Now, the following weekend, so this is where you get a little crazy, right? So we had Sparks in the Park the first weekend in April. 3 weeks later, Mini Nats. And then a week later, for anyone that wants to get out of town, okay, there's no better place to get out of town to Las Vegas and go unwind, man. Get crazy. I know Hank loves to go to Vegas, dude. He'll go out there and blow every cent he's got, and we love it. Mini Truck Showdown, big ups to Corey. Mini Truck Showdown, I'm telling you what, I'm hearing the vibe of this one. There's a lot of old school guys that are coming out, and I think this venue change, state change from Bakersfield area over to Vegas is going to be, Mike, this is going to be the new show. It's at the Palace Station Hotel and Casino. These guys said, listen, there's no way this is going to get canceled. They are locked in, freaking loaded, dude. It's April 30th, May 1st, and May 2nd, Mike. And all I can tell you, dude, is get your freaking plane tickets ready, bro. I need to borrow a couple $100 maybe, you know what I mean? We're going to land. Hopefully we'll all make it out there, and it's going to be a crazy mini truck fueled weekend. Mini Truck Showdowns also on Instagram and Facebook, Mike. I know you're stoked, dude. You're supposedly going to get away maybe on a Southwest flight, I heard.
Well, we are, the boss has definitely looked for tickets. We have not booked anything as of right now, but we are definitely planning on getting out there to Vegas for Mini Truck Showdown.
Real deal. Now, listen, the last two shows that we really want to hit on is Made of Steel. So 2 weeks later, after the Mini Truck Showdown trip, we're going to be at Made of Steel. The 14th is a Friday, so you got the Friday festivities, and you got the Saturday badass show, Made of Steel show. Now, this event is a Friday, Saturday, as I mentioned. We're going to have a cruise over Saturday morning. They're going to have the corn toss, Mike. It's going to be beautiful weather. And I tell you what, the venue is awesome. You got a little bit of the AC area, but you got a big covered area. And that's where you were breakdancing last year and stuff, Mike. I mean, we really had the party hype. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I contribute to this loss of my hair, because I was, spinning on my head, and basically it pretty much yanked all the damn hair out of my head. So yeah, that I contribute. So basically, that hair club for men, I went ahead and I just sent the bill right over to, and I still haven't got it paid yet. So as soon as he pays that, I'm going to go ahead and get those hair implants done so I can have some hair again. I gotta get back to where I had hair like I did in freaking back in 9th grade.
You're killing me, man. You're killing me. But seriously, Made of Steel show. It's in Dover, Florida. Goat and Tank are great guys. We're gonna have a lot more coming on this event. It's one that I tell you what, I'm thankful as a Floridian and as an enthusiast that we have this event. It's close. It's central in Florida, so the East Coast, guys can make it easy down south, and of course you'll have people like the Decorvers there So it's going to be awesome. Made of Steel show May 14th and 15th. We got to get Josh Ellis. We got to get some of the out-of-towner guys. The awards are amazing. The venue's hype. And again, it's awesome because it's Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday you can get some Cracker Barrel with Mike, and then you can peel out of town. Now, the following weekend is going to be May 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Relaxin in the Park, St. Louis. So that's going to be up there in St. Louis. And that will be one of the live stream events. So the 21st, 22nd, 23rd of May. Now, from there, Mike, we'll kind of taper off. We're going to talk to Greg a little bit later about some of the shows, including Scraping the Coast. We're super excited about. But these key show updates are brought to you by our family at the West Coast Influence. You can pick up this mini truck film documentary style via their website, minitruckfilm.com. They also have a couple of custom die-cast trucks, a.k.a. Hot Wheel cars, if you will, that are custom made. They do have a few shirts, but you got to really dig. Let Radar know that you heard us talk about this amazing DVD by simply letting him know you listen to OLP. Add that to the notes. You never know what they'll hook you up with, but it's minitruckfilm.com. Now, Mike, you hinted at this a little bit earlier, dude. This weekend, we've got some new merch, brother. So we got the podcast updates, and I know you're excited about these few things, man.
Absolutely, especially after you showed me, you had sent me that picture of the license plates, and we had tried this before, but these are actually aluminum with, they're sublimated. The artwork is sublimated onto the aluminum tin, metal. So these things are pretty badass, guys. So we're definitely excited about that. We got the mini trucking, we got the OLP, and then we got the cha-ching license plates. How many of these do we have a piece each, Jay?
That is a secret. We have not many, okay, but we have limited quantities, and I'm telling you, guys and ladies are already hitting us up. I know our website's not up right now, but they're going, hey, dude, I'll buy one right now, and they're sending the money over. So all I can tell you is we do have some, but you got to come to the booth on Friday. If you hear this, you got to come on Saturday. We don't have many. We have 3 different styles, as you mentioned.
Well, Jay, like you said, we've had people message us, hey, I want to buy it. I want to buy it now. I want to get them from you, so on and so forth. Guys, let's save it for the shows, man. Get out to the shows. Buy them at the shows. That's just like we got this green shirt that we came out with because we're trying to help out our fellow mini truckers and make sure that they're ready for St. Patrick's Day. We don't want to see you guys get pinched and get bruises because we know that, you mini truckers are a bunch of pansies. So we don't want to see you guys get all bruised up after you get pinched because you're not wearing your green. So we're making these green shirts, especially for you mini truckers. Okay. And I'm just kidding about the pansy thing. Don't email me or message me or whatever, or DM me or whatever, because, I called you pansies. But guys, we got the green. Mini trucking isn't everything. It's the only thing shirts, and we will have those. Those, guarantee you, will sell out at Orange Beach Invasion this weekend.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. And so excited, as you mentioned earlier, not only for the green shirts, but we got the skate deck. So, listen, with the continued support, we're going to continue to launch new products. We've got some great suppliers, including Graphic Disorder, that really come through quickly. And I want to give a huge shout out, Mike. I know that you're a big supporter of Joey. You've sold us on this whole idea, and you've done great, Mike, with the whole skate decks. And Joey at Get Decked, we get a lot of questions about this. Joey has confirmed that if you are looking to get a deck for your significant other or something for a holiday gift or birthday gift, anniversary, you can hit up Joey at Get Decked, and he will make as minimum as one. So, of course, you got a little bit higher price, I would assume. But Get Decked, it's 2 words, Facebook. I think you always tell me, Mike, he's in Virginia, and he'll get you squared away. And then, Mike, he also has a show that he's behind, which I think is pretty awesome.
Absolutely. It's called Attitude Check number 9, because this is year 9. So make sure you guys check out that. Go to the Instagram page. Go to the Facebook event page. And obviously more details to come because it's not till August, guys. So you got plenty of time, but make sure you go and you put that on your show calendar and check it out for sure.
It's going to be kick-ass. Joey, get decked. Instagram, Facebook. But Facebook's really the place. Type in those 2 words, and you'll be set to go. Okay, Mike, next, we're going to kind of start wrapping this one up. You got the Airhead Nation updates, dude. And I know you had one that you wanted to cover. I thought it was pretty cool, some of the new merch out there that's helping for a good cause, Mike.
Well, once again, our buddy, David Magotti, has, of course, we got this Courtney, the Tito scholarship, and they have now come out with the 4th pen. Okay. So make sure you guys are checking this stuff out, and make sure you guys are helping and get that pre-ordered in, because, it's just amazing what this guy has done with these pens, and to be able to give back, to the Hollowell, memorial. It's great. So make sure you guys are supporting David, and pick up those pens. I know we got a couple of them, and definitely look forward to the 4th of this series of pens.
Yeah, great guy. You can find David Magotti, previous guest. If you type out on Facebook Tito Pin, it's sure to come up there. And I love what he's doing, and I love that it's got the nice little NC tie-in. And I think it's just fantastic. And it's actually the camera that Courtney had used last, I think, which is a nice tie-in. So nice one, David. Keep doing what you do. Okay, and then the other update that I wanted to share, Mike, was a previous guest, Mark Larkin from Down Under. Congratulations to the big homie. NC, Australia. Great guy. And with this one, he had posted what an absolute roller coaster it has been. My 2 beautiful girls, Laura Larkin, you are absolutely amazing, and I'm truly blessed to have you as my partner and mother to our amazing girl, Lola. I can't even imagine my world without you both. Congratulations, dude. Mark is a great guy. Again, previous guest, OLP family. Love his crew cab Isuzu, but hey, family and health is always first. And when you have an addition of the family, Mike, you got to give a huge thumbs up. Future mini trucker, I would assume.
He has no choice. Has absolutely no choice. So yeah, definitely shout out, congratulations, and beautiful family you have there, and like you said, a past guest, and that look forward to having them back on again, and telling some more stories.
Real deal, Holyfield, and these Airhead Nation updates have been brought to you by Hammered Weekend Wear. We tell you time and time again, whether it's Ron, whether it's Hank on the episode, visit HAMMERD weekendwear.com. Just ended an amazing pre-sale for 2 shirts, and he's going to keep the pedal stomped. He recently launched a new flannel that's a spinoff of the Pink Taco overseas. That was our Benny Truck of the Year for 2019. Amazing products. You got to go to Hammered, HAMMERD weekendwear.com. Cop some gear. No, by the way, he recently launched swim trunks. He's taken the scene by storm, but you got to swan dive this year. I think we're going to call it the Hammered Swan Dive, and the best photo this summer is going to win something, Mike. We just got to figure out what. All right, so got really just 2 more segments, and this one's the throwback term of the week, Mike. And, dude, I got a freaking bone to pick with you, man. I don't even know if you know this, Mike. It's pretty, in this, you're kind of like, I think you're kind of like a mini celebrity, dude, and you don't even realize it. You know that?
I definitely don't realize that. What did I do now?
Well, I thought this was kind of interesting. Do you remember the Menendez brothers? You remember those guys? And, it was a horrible thing. I guess they like killed their parents or something like that.
Oh yeah, I remember. It's about 5 miles down the road from my house.
Oh, was it? I didn't realize it was down there.
Down here in Naples, my man.
Well, did you know that I think you're actually in a photo with them?
Oh, I did not know that.
Well, here's the thing. A few years ago, there was someone on that site. I don't go on there much, but that Reddit site, and they had basically dug up. They started, and I forget exactly who uncovered this, but I remember the Darren Rovell guy. He actually, I think he was the one that really kind of exposed it on social media after someone figured it out. But they started trying to retrace the steps around that era of when this had happened. It was like 90, 91, like, right around that era, 89, 90, I think it was. And so what happened is they did a bunch of research, and they had looked at a lot of their purchases, and like one of the things they were doing when they had inherited this money is they were living like really extravagantly. Okay. So one of the things they had done, I forget if they bought Knicks season tickets, but they basically researching it, they figured out that they were at some of the Knicks games, right? And Mike, I did not know that you even were a Knicks fan or that you had went to one of the games, dude. So basically what had happened was they figured out, they started looking at basketball cards, and they figured there's an old Mark Jackson basketball card. And in the basketball card, the Menendez brothers are in the fucking background, right? And so that card a few years ago had shot up in price. So I was digging through my cards the other day, and I started looking, and I just sent you the photo of the card. Dude, look at the photo I just sent you. Tell me that's not fucking you sitting right behind one of the guys, dude.
Well, you know what is amazing is the fact that I do have to confess that was me, and they invited me to go along with them. So I, of course, I said absolutely.
And let's be honest, what they did was heinous, but you didn't know it at the time. You didn't know that they were convicted murderers.
Exactly.
Or they were going to be convicted.
Yes. But the most amazing part about this whole basketball card is that I knew at that point that we were going to create OLP.
Yep.
And I already have my OLP hat at that time. That's pretty amazing.
Dude, 30 years ago. And and I'm going to be honest, I saw it, and I know Dizzy's into basketball cards, and I had texted him, and I was like, "Yo, man." And he goes, "Well, let me go pull out my the cards for that year, the NBA hoops." And sure enough, he was the one that sent me that photo right there, man. And Dizzy from the Spark Show, I mean, he had it too, and we confirmed. So, I mean, that Mike, that looks like you, bro.
No, like I said, I confess it was me, and no, I did not know that they were guilty of doing what they did. But hey, we had a damn good time that weekend. There in New York, Madison Square Garden, watching the Knicks play. And of course, that game actually is when they played the Bulls. So, I mean, I was really there to see Michael Jordan. And so it was pretty amazing.
Dude, I don't know how you did it, bro. But I just wanted to, to get at you there, and, I just couldn't believe it. So we'll have to share the photo, and the Airhead Nation can make up their own mind. But this throwback term of the week, Mike, is brought to you by our family at Colorado Custom Wheels. I've gotten more compliments of the amazing customer service that Michael provides to his clients through making purchases at Colorado Custom Wheels, whether you're looking for a steering wheel, rear view mirror, maybe some wheels, or one-off wheels, you name it, they can make it out of billet. Michael and team at Colorado Custom. You have to visit coloradocustom.com or Colorado Custom on Facebook or Instagram. Great people. Let Michael know that OLP sent you.
So do we have something to announce here shortly about possibly an OLP Colorado Customs,
well,
something
we
going
are
down?
Hopefully, right, we're in talks to partner up with those guys at Colorado Custom, but Mike, we can't share the details just yet.
Gotcha.
Now,
Okay.
what's trending in social media? This one's quick, man. I saw some shit. We're like kind of this cancel culture. And this week there was a whole big thing about someone on TikTok, Generation Z is trying to cancel Eminem because, his lyrics are this and that. And Mike, what I kind of get out of this is Eminem is always best when he has an enemy, right? Whether it's someone he's beefing with. Of course, he had the his ex-wife Kim, he had the on again off again relationship. So I'm wondering, I'm a big M fan. I'm wondering if this is going to fuel maybe another album from M where he just goes at an entire generation, dude. I think it would be a pretty cool concept.
I think it's great, on both, for both of them. I say this is just hey, what does it say? Good, bad,
yep.
any news is good news.
Exactly. And I always thought that. And Esquire.com had an article, and they had users that were arguing like "Love the Way You Lie" is a draw attention to domestic assault, referencing the fact that Rihanna, an abuse survivor who was assaulted by Chris Brown, is featured vocalist on the song, and they had all these like tie-ins and stuff, but. I understand some things in culture, like you kind of go, okay, well, that was a bad time period and we shouldn't do those kind of things. But, when people are entertainers, as long as they're not hurting people. I mean, I recently read a thing where someone had broke down and analyzed a lot of Eminem's lyrics, and they said he's one of the artists that it motivates people more than any other artist based upon lyrics. And, I just thought to myself, I'm like, man, we're kind of at a time where shit seems kind of fucked up. You know what I mean? But again, I see the good in it. It's like, what if M now has another reason to like fuel some passion, to roll out another album. We all know that Michael Jordan, we learned through the series that aired last year, Michael Jordan, obviously, anytime that he's got a challenge, he rises to that challenge, and this might be another one. But if you haven't got a chance, check out the new lyric video from Eminem. It's one of the best lyric videos ever. It's actually all animated. It's pretty badass, and that's for tone deaf. So it kind of actually ties into this whole cancel Eminem bullshit that was going on. But Mike, that what's trending in social media was brought to you by All Time Low. I know ATL magazine, Rich and Beth, they're actually in town this week. I didn't get a chance to meet up with them. I know Ron was going to go meet up for dinner one night. Hard-working folks that do a lot for the scene. You can go to atlmagazine.com. You can order a subscription or an individual issue. The big challenge is they often sell out, right? It's a homegrown, smaller business, if you will. So if you subscribe to the magazine, you'll ensure that you get those bi-monthly issues sent right to your door. Mike, dude, it's kind of nice. We're almost about the 50-minute mark. We're going to roll into some audio from Greg Miller. But, man, God, I don't know what we forgot, but you got anything else?
Brother, I think we actually, just about got it all covered. And basically all I can say is Airhead Nation, make sure you guys come out and check out the OLP booth there at Orange Beach Invasion. We're going to be obviously there on the premier row, I guess you could call it, under the lights, under the palm trees. And guys, we look forward to having a great weekend. Lots of food, lots of great food, lots of great shops. I love that little coffee shop that's right there. There's going to be tons of people from all over the place going to be there. We're just going to have a great time, man. I really look forward to it. So make sure you guys come by, and make sure you guys check out that Street Trucks Live streams. Jay's going to be doing the damn thing, best host in the business. So make sure you guys check that out. And of course, thank Chris and Nicole and of course the Mach 1 Media guys for making it all happen. Man. No, absolutely, man. You guys did a killer job there at LST. Honestly, I think the reception is probably going to be a little bit better there at the Wharf. It's definitely one of the nicest venues around anywhere in the United States to have a car show. And so make sure you guys are there. Everybody that's coming, be safe, drive safe. We're going to have great weather. So I really look forward to it this weekend. So, Jay, with that being said, Airhead Nation.
We will see you not at Orange Beach Invasion. If you're not there, we'll see you a few weeks later at Sparks in the Park. We at you. Yo, and as I mentioned, we got Mr. Greg Miller on the podcast. And Greg, dude, man, it's been a minute, but how you been?
Doing great, man. Just trying to get ready for the show this weekend.
Yeah, Orange Beach Invasion. I definitely want to talk about it, man. Just what an amazing event, and we're so excited about this weekend. I wanted to kind of start off, we've had you on a couple times, usually talking about what's coming up. About a year ago, Mike and I were headed out to Texas, and we had had dinner with you on Thursday night, and I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, like, I know a lot of people know that your history goes back a ways with the car and truck scene, right? But I wanted to talk a little bit about that, but I wanted to first have you just maybe give a little bit of information, backstory about yourself, like where you grew up and that kind of stuff, Greg.
Well, originally, I'm from Illinois. Grew up in Illinois all the way till I was about 15 years old, 14, 15 years old. And my dad had some health issues. So with his health issues, we found that it was easier for my dad to breathe easier down here in the climate, down here in the South. And also, we packed up, moved down to Mississippi. And it was a big culture shock, man, going from the Midwest, cornfield, bean field to beaches and, Highway 90 and seeing the, all the bag trucks and everything. And I was just automatically drawn to, I've always loved vehicles, but as soon as I started seeing it, man, my first bag truck, that's what I knew I wanted. And just got my driver's license here in Mississippi, started working on vehicles, started building my stuff, and just never turned back.
Well, often it's kind of like many people talk about the bug that kind of bit them, and, you kind of laid that foundation. And I do remember you were saying in the past, with moving down to the South, it was easier for him to breathe and things like that. It kind of seemed like, but, ever since I've known you, you've always been down in that area. Now, talk to us a little bit about, right, so that's the history of how you got down to the Southeast, but what's a little bit of the backstory on how you got involved with, like, doing shows? Because I think people that live in that region probably know, but the masses may not that are outside that area.
Yeah, well, like I said, whenever we got out of high school and everything, man, I had a mini truck, and I met some other guys who had mini trucks, and there was a local club here called Innovative Trends, and I hit it off with those guys. And it was a big local club at the time, and also at that time, that's when I had met my wife. We got married, had a kid, and the normal family things slowed down, but we was just starting a family and had, like I said, I even brought my daughter home from the hospital in it wasn't even a bag truck back then. Let me back up. We didn't have bagged trucks back then. They were static drop. And at that time we had them slant to the ground to where when you changed lanes, you had to take out reflectors if you wanted them that low. So we was a local club, and we was putting on our first truck show. We was wanting to put on our own truck show, Innovative Trends. And we did it, and we was also attending all these other shows at the time. And we attended some shows over in, like, Florida and up the East Coast and stuff, and they were called Whitley shows. Mm-hmm. And of course, we didn't know what Whitley was. So we met the gentleman who owned Whitley. His name was Howard Foster. And we just got chatting with that guy and told him that, we had just got done doing our first show. Well, he wanted to come over here and put on a show in our area. So he teamed up with us, or we teamed up with him, either way, how you want to look at it. But he started putting on shows in this area, and they were called Whitley. Put on those shows, and he would hire me, my friend John Landry and Eric Kendrick. He hired us. We was going out, helping him. We was the judges. We were the grunt men doing these shows. And these were just your average shows. You pulled up on a Sunday. You pulled up, you paid your entry fee, you sat there all day, and everybody just hung out, had a good time, and at the end of the day, then everybody got an award and everybody went home. And we kept seeing these big shows, these national events like Texas Heat Wave. That was the one of the big granddaddies back then. Texas Heat Wave, Resolutions, shows that you see in the magazines, and everybody kept wondering, people kept saying, oh, how cool it would be to get a show, a national event down here like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we did the Whitley shows for several years, and finally we presented it to Howard, and we wanted to do that. He wasn't really on board to go that big. So me and my buddy Eric Kendrick, we sat back and, after finally hearing from the masses what people really, really wanted, that's when we decided, hey, look, let's do our own show. Let's do a show where you give out cash prizes. Let's do a show where, you give back to the community. Let's do a show where you give out, like airbags and compressors, and you bring in entertainment. You bring in these big acts. Well, when we started off, we didn't plan on bringing in big national acts, but we thought how cool it'd be to have, local bands up on stage playing and stuff like that. Make it a 2-day event or a 3-day event, not just a 1-day backyard show. We wanted it to be a big event. So anyway, Eric and I put our heads together. We started going around to all the stereo shops and all the rim and tire shops. These are local shops. Started hitting all them up, and come find out they wanted the same thing. Nothing against Howard and Whitley or anything like that, but they wanted more bang for the buck as well. They wanted to put on big events. They wanted people outside the local area to know that they were here.
Mm-hmm.
And so we all pulled together, and that's how we started Scraping the Coast. We brought in all the national magazines. We brought in Mini Truckin. We brought in Truckin. We brought in street trucks. We brought in, at the time was Sport Truck.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other one? Tailgate Magazine.
Yeah.
We brought in Dan Davis from Tailgate Magazine. Then that was also about the time when the imports started popping off. So then they started doing was it head?
It was high
I
beams.
think those are
high beams.
High beams. That's it. They started spinning off that magazine. Anyway, so we started bringing all these national magazines, and we want to do the bikini contests and all that. I mean, we always looked at Slam Fest. Slam Fest, always had the great bikini contests and stuff like that, and that's what we wanted to do. Well, the first year it was just a success because this area wanted it so bad, and it's grown to what it is today. I mean, here I am, literally 30 years later from starting from helping a guy, like being a judge, helping this guy put on shows in the area, to where now we are putting on national events. We ain't just putting on one national event. We're putting on 6, 7 national events between Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. I mean, it's a full-time job. And it's hard to believe that when I started working for Whitley, my daughter was 1 year old, not even a year old. And she has, she's been raised in the car show scene through her whole life. She doesn't know anything else, other than car shows. So to the point now, she is my right-hand person on the car shows. You might as well say she's more than my assistant. She keeps me in check on a lot of things. So, it's definitely been a family thing for 30 years.
Now, one thing I've always been interested in, you kind of mentioned there the history with scraping. For someone that's out there and they maybe want to eventually become a show promoter, or they want to do a small event or whatever, was that the first event that you really did, or did you have? I mean, I'm assuming you had some smaller parking lot shows and things like that helped you once you branched off from who you were partnering with, or was it STC Scraping the Coast? Did you just go full-fledged with that?
Well, working with Whitley, once a month he would put on a show in a different area. He'd put on one in Fort Walton. He put on one in Pensacola. Put one on in Gulfport. He put one I mean, they were all up the East Coast, all down Florida, everything. So, like, I got to give that man credit. That man taught me everything that I needed to know about putting on a car show. But he also taught me everything that what not to do. I'm not trying to talk down on him. I'm just saying on his car shows, he only wanted his car shows to come to a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't want them to grow any more than what they were. We did. So literally putting on shows at least once a month, we learned what to do and what not to do. And then all of a sudden me and Eric just decided, let's do Scraping the Coast. And we jumped in both feet and went all in the first year, just all in, all or nothing. And that's what Scraping the Coast started out. And then as we did that for several years, that's when I was like, hey, we're doing this now.
Yeah, it's becoming a well-oiled machine.
Right. I mean, while I'm out there promoting for Scraping the Coast, I can also promote for a new show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we came up with Sicknick.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was like, man, you dude, I've had so many other promoters like, you were crazy trying to pull on two shows. I don't know how you do it. One drives me crazy enough. And I just found it, I guess, doing it for 30 years, I don't know, but I just found it was just as easy to put on two as it was to do one.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that, and then everybody loved that show. And then next thing you know, every show kind of has a different theme or a different feel. So then somebody was wanting to do a camping show. And I was like, hey, why not do a camping show, So then, next thing you know, I started doing Slammer Party. And before I knew it, I had 3 shows going on. I'm juggling them. And it just turned into a big empire, I guess is what you could say. It's normal for me. It comes easy to me, so all the way up to where at one point in time we was doing 7 shows a year.
Damn.
And 7 shows, I will admit 7 shows is enough to make anybody go crazy.
There's a cutoff, right?
Yeah. Like literally, like 7 shows, man. You start dealing with so many vendors, and you start dealing with so many sponsors, and all this, and they all start running together, And that's when my wife and my daughter had to really kick in and help me, because one show is hard enough for one guy, to do multiple shows, you have to have more people under you to keep you checked, keep you organized, and
yeah, I can't argue with
where
that.
we're at.
Well,
yep.
One thing that we may have talked about in the past, but the hustle and the hard work that you've done for all these years, that translated into a lot of success with Scrapin'. And that show, I know at least once it was the Mini Truckin' Magazine Show of the Year, but the show itself has received accolades from national publications because of the just unbelievable amount of vehicles that come out there. It brings a lot of quality to the region, man, and you got to be proud of all the success.
Oh yeah, talking about how much work and how much stress comes along with putting on a show. You can ask anybody who's ever put on a show; they'll tell you. I've had people that actually come to me and say, after they've put on their own show, they've actually said, man, my hat's off to you, man. I got mad respect for you after seeing what I went through to put on a show. I got mad respect for you for what you do. But putting on these shows, it's a job.
It is. Now, Speaking of, I wanted to kind of say, the dynamic has changed, and I know since you've been around shows a long time, you and I think we were just talking about this, but when you think back to like the 90s and these Bill Cox shows and Whitley and whatnot, remember there were so many classes, and I'm sure it's like, okay, the judging sheets for like points and all the stuff. Now, the way it's kind of morphed into is a lot of these shows do like these top 100, top 75, these type of things, and you have all your best of. With all of your history, Greg, going back 30 plus years, do you find, like, even though the quality might be higher level, right? We know these unbelievable rides are being built these days, but do you find it a little easier when you don't have a million classes, or what do you prefer?
Honestly, I think it kind of all depends on the show itself, which show it is. It is, to give you an example, Scraping the Coast. We still do classes. And it's a, like you said, it's a well-oiled machine. Everything goes smooth. Yes, we do give out a pretty good amount of awards. And a lot of people think, well, if I just do a top 50 or top 100, that'll make it so much easier. And I'd be willing to bet if you were to ask Lonnie and Radar of LST or anybody else who puts on a good big show, it's not as easy. Because a lot of people in their mind think, oh man, it's easy. You just pick the 100 nicest ones. But when you got 1,000 nicest ones,
yeah,
and you're going through and you're like, oh my God, okay, out of these 1,000 vehicles that are worthy of a trophy, how do I determine that 1 out of every 10 is the best of the 10?
Yep. Yeah. It's not easy.
If you had 200 cars and you did a top 100, yeah, that would be a whole lot easier. But when you got thousands of vehicles, let's just say you have a 2,000 car show, and for a fact in the back of your mind, 1,000 of them are worthy of the trophy. It's hard. It's stressful. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, like at Scraping the Coast, when we go to do the Best of Show awards,
mm-hmm.
I mean, we got roughly 27, 28 awards, and you would think that'd be so easy.
Like best paint, but then you have all these vehicles that are just unbelievable graphics and painted everything. It's got to just be like pulling your hair out.
I mean, you might be like, oh, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, oh, Joe Blow, he's got best paint, and then you're thinking best engine goes to, John Doe, and oh, this person just. But then when you get to walking around, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I forgot all about this guy. Let me go look at his motor, and so now you're comparing two, boom, 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 and then you realize, oh, this guy over here's got a badass motor too. So you're trying to expect. Well, next thing you know, you've done killed 45 minutes trying to figure out which one's the best out of the three. You've knocked that out. Now you got to go do the same thing over for the guy with the best paint, and then you got to go. So it's it really, that to me, Scraping the Coast, that you can ask my wife and my daughter, everybody that is in the office during Scraping the Coast. To me, that is the most stressful thing to me of Scraping the Coast is picking out the best of, because you want to make sure you gave it to the right person that really deserved it.
Well, and speaking of that, people are kind of getting some insight. We're talking to Greg Miller here from Custom Car Show Productions. Obviously Scraping the Coast, Orange Beach Invasion. You got After Hours, and then you also have Bayou Showdown. But when I think of the amount of work that goes into it, just to give some insight, Greg, how many folks do you have that, like at Scraping, right? Because that's like the flagship event. How many folks do you have that are helping with this, right? Because you can't do it yourself. And I'm talking about the judging in particular.
Just judging in particular?
Mm-hmm.
Judging in particular, we'll have roughly 15 judges, and that's drive-through judging. To me, that's the easiest setup is drive-through judging, because they don't have to walk around and look for vehicles and and try to find this guy and try to find that guy because they're driving around. But we still have about 15 judges just for drive-through judging.
Now, that reminded me of something. Now, do you do something unique? Do you try to do the judging on the front end of them coming in? Because at first, when you said that, I was like, well, wait a minute. It gets so tight in there with so many badass vehicles packed in, but you guys have that unique system you use.
Yes. On Scraping the Coast, what we do is when they pull into the actual Coliseum, they pull into an AC building. We got, I think it's 3 or 4 lanes wide of registering, and they register. They get all their paperwork. They pull out. We have a little area that, hey, if you just literally drove straight here, you could pull off to this area right here. You can clean your vehicle, you detail it, whatever you want to do, and then get back in line. And the moment before you even leave that building, you can get judged. Now, if for some reason you are not ready to be judged or what have you, you can request, hey, I would rather park my car. Let me get my display set up, all this, and we'll pull your seat off the side and mark it. And then what we do is at the end of the day, when everybody's done, our judges will go judge those vehicles. But for the most part, right after you register and you collect all your stuff and you get your seat, you pull up to the next thing. We got 5 lanes of judging, and you pull up and they get you judged. And we do this for several reasons. One, so our judges ain't wearing themselves out in the heat trying to find Joe Blow, because they, you're trying to find this one car in acres of parking,
yep.
and you can't find it. Come find out he drove off to go get a burger or something,
Right.
And the second reason is for the participants. They themselves can pull in, get the judging out of the way, and then they have the whole weekend to have fun. They don't have to sit there and wait beside their vehicle all weekend long, waiting for the judge to come judge their vehicle. I mean, you've seen it so many times. A poor guy spent half the morning detailing his car, getting it all ready, and he's sitting there and he's waiting and he's waiting, and then finally he caved in because, man, he's either got to go to the bathroom, he's got to go get a drink, and sure enough, when he goes and does something, the judge done came and judged him, and now he can't find a judge. So it's really a convenience. The drive-through judging is a convenience for both parties. It just makes it simpler and easier.
Yeah, and there you hear it, folks. I mean, some of the insight in someone that's been doing this for 20, 30 years, you try to always improve your event because, Greg, let's be honest, you want to make it a good experience for these showgoers. But at the same time, just like with any business, you want to become more efficient. You don't want to have a line that's 200 vehicles deep trying to get judged if you can go, well, hey, let's do it on the front end, right? I also like that you give you give the option to someone that might be coming in with a high-end, 100,000 plus vehicle or way more, of course, but that might want to detail and clean and stuff like that. But I wanted to ask, too, one thing that we always appreciate is the amazing artwork that you end up coming up with for these events, like we're talking about Scraping the Coast right now. How do you go about selecting some of those vehicles? I know you shared some insight in the past, but I was real curious on that.
Basically, we do is we take what Ron Perkins calls real builds.
Yep.
In the past, me going to shows, we'd buy a show shirt and from other shows, and they weren't real builds. They were you might go to a car show or a truck show, whatever, and you might buy, and it might have a Mazda mini truck on there or a Nissan or something in that nature, a full size, but it was never an actual real truck. And I just thought, how cool would it be to start incorporating the people who actually come to our shows and support our shows, give them a little spotlight, show them the love for supporting our events. So that's what we do. We go out to these shows, people who support us, we will, if they have a truck that really grabs attention, hey, we'll go up to them and say, hey, man, would you love to have your truck on a shirt? Of course, who doesn't? You know,
right.
I mean, who doesn't want to see their truck on what, you know, we, for Scrape the Coast, we literally do 4,500 shirts.
Wow.
So who wouldn't want to see, who wouldn't want to go to LSP or, you know, Last Resort, Slam Fest, or whatever, and all of a sudden you see, every time you turn around, you see a Scrape the Coast shirt there with your truck on it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So we do that, and then basically I sit back and I try to think of a theme, and I picture it in my brain what I want the shirt to look like. So I'll take, you know, like for example, for OBI we took Joe Slade's C10.
Yep.
And I said, you know, I would love to put Joe Slade's truck on a shirt. So I sit back and I said, you know, I look at that truck and I just try to think what kind of background would look, you know, killer with this, you know. So basically I get with Brandon at Fuel Kit and I tell Brandon, hey man, you know, we would like to put your on here, and I want palm trees, I want tiki guy, I want a tiki hut, I want the beach feel, and I have this picture in the back of my mind, and then I give it to him. Of course, I could paint a picture to you.
Yep.
And you're taking it totally different than when I'm trying to paint it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he does every time. He'll take that picture, and he usually does it 10 times better than what I even thought of.
Yeah, and you had cut out there for a second, and that was Brandon at Fuel Market. I know you have a great relationship with them, and they do a lot of cool stuff. And, you know, that's what I would encourage people, that when you go to an event like Scraping the Coast, you have this opportunity, if you've got something eye-catching, that, you know, Greg will, you know, and his folks, they'll approach you sometimes and say, hey, you know, like what he just said, you know, we want to pick you. You've had some really cool artwork, and I love how you mix it up too. You know, me being a Lincoln guy, I really kicked myself for not getting in line a couple years ago, and you had the amazing 64, the black Lincoln on it, and the artwork looks so good. And then, you know, I know you partner up real good with Doug, who does a lot of your, you know, some of your awards. And I remember seeing the artwork, and I was like, wow, it looks so good. He did some of the acrylic things and whatnot.
Yep.
So
yeah, it you know, it's not just Scraping the Coast. It's not just me. It's, you know, it's a whole team of people. It ain't just my team of Scraping the Coast. It's Fuel Market. It's Doug Johnson with Creative House. It's everything to Brian Good with Grinder TV. You know, Street Trucks Magazine. It's all these people that come together as a team to make the event.
Yep.
And, you know, we can't do it without them. We can't do it by ourselves. We can't do it without the people that come to our show to support us. We can't do it without the sponsors. We can't do it without the vendors. I mean, it's a big, gigantic group effort. I'm just the guy that is like trying to put all these people together.
Yep. You're like the project manager, pulling people together and making it happen. And, you know, some of the other, you know, quick things I wanted to hit on is, you know, obviously you recently did the skateboard. You linked back up with the, you know, the OG BAD guys. I think that was cool. You've had, like you said, entertainment, but you've grown that. You've had some pretty big acts that come out that I always enjoy. You've got the indoor, you've got the outdoor, you've got the summer. I know in the past you've had the burnout contest. When you think of Scraping the Coast, I mean, you've grown this thing to an amazing level. You obviously, I think you're on the 19th year. Mike always had to correct me. When you start thinking 20 years and 20 plus, like, are there still things that you want to accomplish with an event of that magnitude?
Oh yes, definitely. There's things that I still want to do. There's things that I want to do I wanted to do this year and this past year. You know, COVID kind of tied our hands behind our backs on some things, but, you know, being a show promoter, you take pride in what you've done. You know, like a lot of these show promoters, they can vouch that after they've done the show, They pull their hair out. They say, I'll never do another one again. It was too much stress. For me, it's always been, when you get up on stage or whatever and you see thousands and thousands of people staring at you, and they're so glad you brought that to them. You made that car show happen to them. That's what I take back. I take that back, and I realize, man, I made all these people happy, and it's a sense of pride to me that I was able to establish that. So you want to do things next year to make it bigger, better. I mean, who doesn't? If you don't, you'll become stale.
Yep.
Yeah,
we've seen we always joke and say, like the Kodaks of the world, you don't want to become them.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, me and my partners, we just got back from LST. We rented a house over there. You and Mike was there. One thing we talked about on the way to LST was 20 years, man. Scrape the Coast is fixing to be 20 years. And we really want to blow it out the park. I mean, we want to do something, and I don't want to say what we're got planned yet because I don't want to jinx myself, but me and my partners have sat back and said, guys, on our 20 years, man, let's double down. Let's do this, and let's show these people that we appreciate their years of support. And, doesn't matter what it takes, doesn't matter what it costs, this is what we want to do. And all three partners were, hell yeah, let's do it. And so 20 years, everybody better be ready for 20 years. We're going to make some announcements here before long, and I think everybody's going to be blown away of what we're fixing to do.
Yeah, it's awesome that you had this flagship event. You mentioned earlier you branched off, right? Because when you become good at something, you go, hey, let's do more of it. And you've had these other shows. And I want to briefly hit on this weekend with Orange Beach Invasion. Many of you are going to be on the road Friday. We know Craig is flying in from the Pacific Northwest. Real good dude. He came to Mini Nats. He's been floating around one of the sitting pretty guys up there. Real good dude. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. You're going to have people coming from all over, and that's obviously a thing that's been happening, which is great. But when you think about Orange Beach Invasion, you think about how you've grown this, right, from a seed. Robbie Bryant, I know, is a key partner with Keg Media, great guy. You got to be excited about this one, man, because the momentum continues to come every single year with OBI.
Yeah, OBI, that started off actually, OBI has been in the back of my mind for probably about 15 years. It was going to be actually, I wanted it to be a show that I did in the future, not even to today's, time. I wanted it to be a feature that even say years and years after Scrape the Coast, that would be a show. I'm an old man now, but I'm going to say when I'm like really an old man, I wanted it to be more like a Cruising the Coast type show, good guys type show, to where everybody can come there and, sit back in their lawn chairs and all that. But, things happened, and Robbie came to me, and Robbie was like, man, we put some effort in this area, and I really want to do a show. And I said, you know what, dude? I've got a spot. I said, if you want to do a show, let's do a show. And he's like, really? Where at? I said, and we hopped in the truck and drove 2 hours over there so I could show him. And it was like, hell yeah, let's do it. And that's how Orange Beach came about, And this is our 5th year. And in 5 years' time, even from last year, we had a great turnout from last year, especially with the whole COVID-19 kicking off. We really didn't know if we were going to be able to have the event.
Oh, yeah.
It was an awesome show. And to a year later, like it's uncontrollable. It's like, I mean, it is every day, all day. We're getting pre-registrations in by the masses. That it's just like we're sitting back going, oh my God, what have we created here? You know, and there's people coming from everywhere, and so again, that gives you a sense of pride of, wow, I built this. You know, we, not just me, we built it. Me and Robbie built this. You know.
Oh yeah.
And but it's something that that you just, when you start something and you get a few hundred cars here, and you know, next year you get a couple more hundred cars, and then, you know, now we have a lot of cars coming, and I mean a lot. It's like, it's overwhelming the amount of vehicles that's coming to OBI this weekend. So,
well, and like you said, it's a good feeling. It's a great event. It's a great venue. But when you have a great team behind it that is has a well-oiled machine of scraping the coast, obviously, Robbie has had great success with, and keep me honest, I always say it wrong, Slamily Reunion.
Slamily Reunion, and he does Lift the Truck Nationals.
And Lift the Truck Nationals. So, you know, with you know, we've had him on before with his resume, if you will, of these amazing builds that he's done for many years, and some of the shows. I mean, it was great to see the two worlds collide with both of you guys, and to do this event. I would encourage anyone, if you've never been to the Wharf, dude, I tell you what, you got to come down. Many of you are going to be down there. I love that all these different clubs will come out and support. But if it's something that you can't be at this year, you can go on Street Trucks. I know you're excited about this. We've got the live stream we're going to be doing that's going to hit Facebook and YouTube.
Yep.
But on top of that, you know, I tell people, follow the hashtags, either Orange Beach Invasion or OBI 2021. We'll be using those heavily on Instagram and Facebook, and you'll have a chance to see all the photos. But what gets you most excited about, you know, you're going to be leaving, I'm sure, within the next day or so, getting into town there if you're not already there. What are you most excited about when you roll in to the town that you're going to be having a show at?
Well, we'll be rolling in town first thing in the morning. And, you know, when we get there, tomorrow's usually a pretty easy day. You know, we just sit there and we watch our vendors roll in. We can't really start setting nothing up until midnight, unfortunately. But we sit there and we try to get things worked out that we can get worked out, start getting vendors set up. But the one thing I look forward to the most on that show is not only seeing everybody and seeing all my friends and everything from out of town, but the one thing that I always look forward to is the nightlife. If anybody's ever seen the pictures or the videos, they have, I mean, the Wharf itself, it's a resort. It's a destination. They got what they call Main Street, and then they got Wharf Parkway, but it comes to a T, and everything's lit up with. They got palm trees. They got all these palm trees are lit up with a multi-million-dollar light show that plays along with music. They got these laser beams mounted throughout the whole resort that can project things like, let's say, a pirate ship going down over these stores, and they can shoot a cannonball to another pirate ship, and it's a light show. I don't want to say as extravagant as Fremont Street in Vegas, but I mean, it's really, really nice. I mean, when they play the music, all the LED lights on the palm trees go with the music, and I mean, it's just so cool to see all these badass trucks and cars out there under all these lights, and everybody just hanging out. You know, a lot of shows you go to, you know, a lot of people always hit me up and say, what's the hours of the show? Well, it's actually 8 a.m. on Friday and ends about 3 p.m. on Sunday. That's actually the hours, because you never leave. So at nighttime, what I enjoy the most seeing all this is you don't have to leave at 6 p.m. like most shows. you can go to your condo, you can go to your hotel room, you can get a shower, you can come back out, and you can hang out at your truck all weekend long under all these laser lights, and you can get these rad pictures. Like, if you've ever seen the pictures, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Like, there's some of the best photo ops you can get with, like, your truck sitting there and all of a sudden there's a red glow on it, or you see a laser show going on, or you can see the Ferris wheel that's got a light show on it itself going in the background. It's just, to me, that's my favorite time, and seeing everybody hanging out and having a good time, rather than just going back to a hotel and hanging out, you know?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And, you know, last year we were obviously going there and the world was kind of quickly changing with all this news of the COVID stuff. But what was cool is you were still able to have the event. Some of the police officers, they kind of just strolled through down there and they challenged us to some cornhole, and we had that going on. And like you said, the vibe is amazing. And the other aspect, you kind of hinted at it, is with the wharf being the way it's set up, if you stay right there at one of the hotels that's right next door at one of the condos, you literally walk upstairs, you can get a shower, you can come downstairs, eat, and then boom, you walk right on the street and it's all shut down, and then you're chilling with the homies. So it really is kind of a destination show. You go to it and it just makes you want to, hang out, man.
Yeah, it's an experience. That's what I tell everybody. If there's one word that you can sum it up, it's an experience.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. Now, I wanted to, so OBI, again, you can follow the official Instagram. It's Orange Beach Invasion Show. One of the partners, they also have Orange Beach Invasion, so there are those two Instagrams. Facebook is going to be really where a lot of the information, the key information shared. I know, Greg, you guys have also done a fantastic job of sharing some of the parking overhead views and some of the key things that people shouldn't be doing. And I don't want to go through all of those because I think most mini truckers, we all know, like, hey, let's respect the facility because that's key in having events come back to next year, obviously. But was there anything else before we kind of talked about a few other things that you wanted to share related to OBI this weekend in Orange Beach, Alabama?
Really, I think we pretty much covered everything. We just want everybody to come out and have a good time. We want everybody to respect the place because if, the Wharf is one of those places that, like I said, they're a high-end resort. They're very proud of their facility. Anybody comes there and tears it up, they don't want. It ain't that they just don't want that one person there. They absolutely don't want that. They won't want the whole crowd there. So it's just one of those things that we want everybody to come out and have a good time and respect their property just as much as you would want everybody to respect your property. You wouldn't want somebody coming over to your vehicle and destroying it. So why go to their property and destroy it? Just come out and have a good time and check out some badass rides, meet some new people, see some old ones, make great memories, and then before you know it, unfortunately, Sunday comes in a blink of an eye, and you're heading back home. And that's all it boils down to. Just have a good time.
Well, this is one of the first shows in a while that I'm not going to have to peel out of town Sunday morning. Now I get to gallivant a little bit longer, like Mike Murray normally does, and we're going to be celebrating our wedding anniversary, which was 3/8, Maddie's B-Day, which we call St. Maddie's Day. So that's the 20th, but we're going to basically be in town from Friday to Tuesday. And if that's any indication, everyone, that literally you can go here, you can make it kind of a mini vacation. We live in the South and we love it, but many of you are going to come down from the North. Get out of that cold weather. Come on down. It's a great venue. And then hashtag OBI 2021. Hashtag Orange Beach Invasion. That way we can kind of see some of your posts. You can also tag Orange Beach Invasion Show on Instagram. Now, Greg, I wanted to talk a little bit about a few more things before I let you go because, dude, this has been real fun just kind of chopping it up. I think was it technically last year you sold the Mazda. Talk to us about you got this huge car and truck passion. We've established that. but you've got some cool rides. Is there anything you wanted to share about some of the stuff that you have kind of in your fleet, so to speak?
Yeah. Well, we got, we built the Mazda last year, and a good buddy of mine, Sal Martinez, wanted it. And I wasn't really ready to get rid of it, but I saw this was an opportunity for me to pull farm truck out and finally give him a makeover that he's been needing for a long time. I parked it. Matter of fact, 2 weeks ago at LST, I parked farm truck 7 years ago. And my wife and I, we got our 55 Bel Air. We started enjoying it. It was just one of those things everybody kept saying, man, when are you going to bring out farm truck? When are you going to bring out farm truck? And, I was enjoying the new car so much. And you know how it is. The more and more people keep saying, when are you going to bring it out? The more you really just keep losing interest, and you just keep saying, you know what, I'm not going to bring it out anytime soon. It's retirement. But when I sold that truck, I said, you know what, this is a chance right here. I'm going to bring this truck out, and it's going to be 10 times better than it ever was. Farm truck was one of those trucks that I honestly think that I could pull it out, washed it up, pulled it to a show, and everybody would still drool all over it. Paint job, everything on it. Everybody just loved that truck. But we went ahead and bit the bullet. We bought a roaster shop chassis. Went ahead and got the Strange rear end, narrow rear end. We are converting it over to 20 by 12s on it versus the 20 by 8s. I've got a all aluminum 6.0. We put big cam in it. Brian Tooley Races Stage 3 cam. We're doing the Borla 8-stack injection system on it. This go around, we're going all out. We're doing everything that I wished I'd have done the first time. We're going to do it the second time. We're going to get it all repainted. We're going to get everything fixed the way we wanted it. It's blown into 50 million pieces right now. So,
hell yeah, man. And you got to be excited about it. I talked to you a little bit about it when we were kind of hanging out for Lone Star Throwdown 2021, and it's just the amount of hustle that you have and the passion that you have for the truck scene, really, and just the automotive scene in general. You seem to always have your ear and eye out there on social media, just in general, looking for cool stuff. And is there one thing on like a bucket list that you have in the back of your head that says, I really want one of these? And is there anything that you haven't had?
There's a bunch I haven't had. There's a bunch that I've had that I wish I kept. And my wife is just as passionate for vehicles as I am. She wants me to buy everything that's on our bucket list.
That's a good woman, I tell you.
Unfortunately, I don't have the property for it right now. Like, our next thing that I want is a 62 bubble top.
Okay.
I want a 62 bubble top. I want a first gen Camaro. I want one of them laid out with 24 by 15s under it. And I'm talking about laid out on the ground. You can't go to a car show or a cruise-in or anything without walking around and saying, "Oh, what I'd do to have one of them." I want them all.
Well,
There's if my pockets were deep enough, and I had enough, and I had a barn big enough, it'd be dangerous. So,
I can.
There's bunches that I want, and hopefully I still have plenty more time on this earth to where I can still get those bunches one day. But it's just one day at a time. Right now, I'm working on farm truck and I'm working on Sam, which is a '67 C10, and both of those right now are just consuming my time.
Well, we got to get some of that Mike Murray money. We know he's got the mayor's mansion, as Dizzy has shown us in the photos and stuff. But in all seriousness, I know Mike's excited about the Mazda. his debut, of course, here at OBI. So I'm hoping that all goes well. But yeah, man, you've had some cool stuff. I tell you that Mazda, it really struck a chord with a lot of us. Anytime I post photos that you take your trucks and your vehicles to a lot of different shows, and I was always happy to see that thing because it's such a cool truck. And I think Sal got something really awesome, and he's obviously starting to make it his own. He's done some cool stuff to it, some things I know that you had shared with me that you were going to maybe do as well. But man, dude, that's pretty cool stuff. Man, what else? I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think. What else we could maybe hit upon? Like, any other hints? I mean, the only thing I wanted to say is that, and you don't even have to comment on this, but I know like you're a super passionate guy, and I think sometimes folks might see the Greg Miller that I used to see years ago on social media, and you go, man, Greg's passionate about what he does. But I would encourage anyone, if you're at an event, go up and talk to Greg real quick. Obviously, he's going to be a busy guy, but Greg's a guy that will always stop and shake your hand and thank you for coming out to a show. I think the other thing is that maybe you're sometimes misunderstood because you're so passionate. And I would tell anybody that think about if your job was under the microscope all the time, and in this world that we live in with social media and show promoting, it goes really hand in hand. But think about this: if some folks were scrutinizing everything that you did or I did, right? I mean, I'm not perfect. I think people would see that it's not easy to maintain all that stuff. So I think you do a commendable job of pulling together people and vehicles and these big amazing events that we all love to go to. But I would encourage people to come out to the events because, like Mike and I have said time and time again, the magazines go away if people don't subscribe, and the shops aren't making money to promote, right, with ads. Shows go away if people don't come out to the shows, right, and behave. So, I just wanted to kind of reinforce that to you, man.
Yeah, I mean, at the shows, we're so busy, and to be honest with you, there would be nothing more that I would love to do than to, shoot the crap with every single person there. I would love to go shake each and every person's hand and thank them for coming out. And there are times that, I catch it all the time. Like, I might be on the golf cart flying because, somebody done hit me up on the radio. Oh, something's going on over here. And I'm having to go there try to put this fire out. And as I'm going, I hear, Greg. And it's like, I don't have time. I don't want those guys to think I'm blowing them off. It's just when you're promoting show, you're getting pulled from every direction there is possible. But anytime anybody, if they see me, whatever, and they want to, just talk for a few minutes, I'm always there. Love talking with people. I mean, nobody likes an enemy. Nobody wants to not make a friend. But we love everybody that comes to our shows, and we try to make everybody happy. Unfortunately, sometimes you can't make everybody happy, but we do our best. And like you said, we love car shows. Everything about it. They say what's the old saying? If you do what you love doing, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yep.
And I'm the poster child of that.
100%, man. Yeah, and don't get caught up and a lot of folks, I think, we're enthusiasts. We've been doing this this is my 25th year of going to shows. And sometimes people get misconceptions and things like that. But, the thing I've always tried to do is just, hey, go to the shows and have a good time. It doesn't matter what show. Hey, love for you to go to a custom car show production event. But, the cool thing is now, the one thing we didn't talk a lot about, but with street trucks, I know you really appreciate them. When Chris and Nicole first came on board with street trucks, they went right to Scraping the Coast, and they had a great time. They did the top 10. They had amazing coverage. You get a lot of the national magazines, which there's not a lot of these to go around these days, but
right.
But they're transitioning into the next thing, right? This whole digital media, and we've seen it before from Brian at Grinder TV and so many other great folks. But we're excited about that, and it is going to bring a new dimension. If there's some folks out there that don't have the time or money, or they've got a young kind of startup family, you can go out on social media, Facebook, YouTube. You can follow Street Trucks Magazine, and you can watch from the comfort of your home. Now, that doesn't replace going to shows. I mean, let's be honest. However, hey, there's some events I can't make, and if I can get some insight into it from home via my Apple TV or iPhone, hey, I'm all about it, right, Greg?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, and just like you said, just because Street Trucks is out there covering it, you're having to watch it through their eyes. It's not the same as being at the show. They're over here filming this, but if you're at the show, even though they're over here filming this, you might want to go down and look at that OBS, or you might want to go over and look at that old Ford or something. I mean, being at the show is always the best part. That's where you get to see your friends. But thankful for Chris and Nicole and Street Trucks for doing what they do. There's no reason to miss a show now. You can watch it. You can stream it and watch it and actually feel like you're there.
Yeah, and it's just I think it's going to continue to bring forth more stuff, more excitement for people to want to get out there and build stuff. We get a lot of compliments, so we don't talk about them all the time, but people that said, hey, man, I thought the scene was dead. There was a guy that just had messaged us the other day that went into kind of a long post, and he said he found the podcast, and he literally, this is a Joe Mahaffey, he says, hey, guys, or whoever this is, I'm not psycho or anything, but I got a long story, and he said, hey, look, I was in a motorcycle accident 5 years ago, left me in a wheelchair the majority of the time, and I needed an outlet. And he kind of goes on to say that the energy that we bring on the podcast, he's realized the scene is not dead. And, to me, that's what our role is. And if you've been in the scene a long time, get out there and motivate the homies, the chicas, get in the garage and help them. Because, Greg, you've had some cool stuff over the years. I know you're passionate. But for me, it's, even me having kind of bringing Bada Bing back to a certain level where I can enjoy it a little bit more than I did in the past. It's, there's no greater feeling than cruising in your shit, is there, man?
That's it, brother. That's it, man. Just hopping in your ride, driving it, enjoying it, pulling up at a red light, looking over, seeing the people next to you giving the thumbs up. That's the best feeling.
Cranking the tunes, hitting the switches. If you got adjustable suspension, dude, life is good,
it, man.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it and be grateful that you're not driving a boring old station wagon or something,
I did like the one at Lone Star,
or
though.
A minivan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, be grateful you're not driving a minivan,
Yeah, I think about it all the time. A lot of folks that, I just call them average Joes. They're guys that just get up, they go to work, they don't have a hobby, they dabble, they watch the TV shows, they're like, oh man, my wife won't let me do anything, or vice versa, right? It could be the other way around, but I think about all the time, it's like, man, thank God I'm not just, at least in my mind, just a boring dude that gets up, goes to work, doesn't really have a hobby, and like you just said, man, it's like, be thankful, you got something cool, you got something to go get your hands dirty with, because just some of those things I tend to forget about, and I got to remind myself that, hey, even on a bad day, we got it pretty damn fucking good, man. That's what my dad would always say. But
exactly. I mean, you see a lot of these guys who wake up, go to work, come home, wake up, go to work, come home, mow the grass on Sunday, wake up, go to work, come home, and it's like, are they waiting to die? Is that it? Is that your life? But we actually have a scene that I think is pretty rad.
Yeah, it is, and it runs deep. There's people that have had great success, like we know Extensive has came out to Scrapin'. You've had guys like Bill Carlton and Mike Finnegan and some of these guys in the scene, Ryan Fringling House and so on. But then you have other folks that have built these amazing businesses, like Jimmy or like Eric at Little Shop, and some of these businesses that we look up to that many of us get parts from and things like that. So. The good thing is you just got to you got to be positive out there. You got to build something cool that at least is something that you think is cool and get out to a show. It amazes me that shows are very reasonably cost. There's a very reasonable cost to them. A lot of shows these days just to get in the gate is $20. So you add a few bucks on top of that, boom, you got your vehicle, 2 armbands, and then you're rocking out for the entire weekend. But Greg, it's always great to chat with you. You got a lot of insight. I always like picking your brain to your daughter and your wife. Just keep doing what you guys do. And Custom Car Show Productions, man, I don't think we've seen the last of you guys. You know what I mean?
Yep. Nope. And let's don't forget, right after Orange Beach Invasion, April 17th, we got
After Hours.
After Hours. We got After Hours at the Hank Aaron Stadium, and it's just a one-night show, but it's that old school feel where come on out and hang out, man. Just relax, chill, BS with people, and we're expecting that to be a great show as well.
Yeah, you got to topple Mike Murray. He thinks he's running shit down here with After Dark, but with After Hours at Hank Aaron Stadium, that stadium had opened back in April of '97, and the good thing is it's in a very central location there in Alabama. It's in Mobile. So if you go on Google Maps, you can check it out. And again, it's got that nighttime feel. Still a little bit cooler weather before we get into the crazy summer and need that Freon poisoning, that air conditioning, as we always joke about. But
well, that's why we do that nighttime, so you ain't got to sit there in the sun and sweat it out. It's almost like back when we were kids and we all go hang out somewhere at nighttime and just sit around BS. That's the feel that show brings on.
Yeah,
and,
we got to get Sean Randall, though, maybe get a little I know we got to get extra insurance, but maybe, he always talks about the old days of going to the BMX freestyle shops with,
Bill Allen. He doesn't talk about the old days. He brags about the old days.
Yeah, he's always bragging, and if we could get a little half pipe, man, right, and we could maybe get him out there,
right,
like a little Vanilla Ice outfit, get him to carve some lines in his head.
I think we should do that. I think we should get him a half pipe out there because I want to see him. I want to see him do that because we might need to have 911 on.
Yeah, we would have an ambulance. We would all pitch in the few bucks to have the medical staff on standby. We know he can do it. We just say don't even do a trick, man. Just maybe just try to ride it one time. Like I can't do it, but I heard Sean's good. But
yeah. I mean, from what I'm told, Sean was he was up there back in the day. He was well known. And I think he's bragging, but he says he was, and I would like to see him to, do a couple flips or whatever.
Yeah, like they said in Rad,
he still got it in.
Hulk Hogan, eat your heart out. You know what I mean? But
yep.
Yeah, it was cool that you guys came down when you guys came down for Mike's show After Dark. We got a chance to go eat over at Frenchie's, and he brought the truck out, and everybody was like, hey, can I take a photo with it? He's like, yeah, go ahead, no problem. But it's always cool seeing that thing roll. Such a nice truck. It's been done for years, and it's still out there riding clean.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it still looks like the day they rolled it out.
Yeah, and is he going to get buckwheat done soon, you think?
Don't even get me started on him with buckwheat. I'm going to have to go over there and start pushing him to get it done. But he says he's trying to get it done for a mini Nats, but I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I hope he does. And you could follow BUK.WEAT on Instagram. That's his little Insta page. But look up Sean Randall, SEAN, man. He's riding clean, and he's obviously in the fold here, helping with a lot of stuff with the Custom Car Show Productions and stuff like that. So I know you guys are partnered up on a couple of events, and Bayou Showdown's on the rise. Mike went out there last year. I know you said that's just growing to epic proportions, and that's always the weekend before Thanksgiving, I think, if I got that right.
Yep.
So it's going to be on the rise. We got to talk more about it. But, dude, Greg, thank you so much, dude. Really appreciate what you do, and I can't wait to see what you're cooking up for Scraping the Coast 2021. We're anxious to see the awards. I know Feltham has done a great job, and we can't wait to talk more, brother.
Sounds good, brother, and we appreciate everything y'all do for us, man, and look forward to seeing you this weekend.
No breaks, my brother. We appreciate you.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Everyone, have a great weekend, and we'll hit you guys next week with another episode. We got you. Peace. Yo, there you have it. Greg Miller, thanks so much for your time. What a blast. A little bit of a trip down memory lane. We really didn't get a chance to talk about the Bill Cox shows, but there was a little bit of a tie-in there with the Whitley. Obviously, those old shows, many of you probably remember going to some of those. Bill Cox obviously had that name that many of us remember from that era. I didn't go to many Bill Cox events, but we all know those events. Greg kind of hinted at the whole Whitley connection in terms of pretty much everyone got a trophy, and that's the way it went down. Now, I want to thank everyone again for continuing to rock with us. If you're on the road or the homies driving, go through the Apple Podcast app. If you're using an Apple device, that pre-installed podcast app many of you are using, and tap on Library, select OLP, scroll all the way down and tap the 5 stars if you would. You can also tap on Write a Review, which is just underneath where you tapped. That's definitely a huge help to us. We are at 227 ratings, and pretty much 99.9% of those are 5 stars. Literally, it looks like almost 100%. So thanks to everyone that continues to listen, as I mentioned. Now, if you happen to not be going to Orange Beach Invasion this weekend, you can, again, give a thumbs up to Street Trucks via Facebook. Easiest way I have found is if you tap the bell notification on YouTube for their channel. By doing so, you'll be notified whenever we go live, and you won't miss out on the event. We're going to continue to get better with these, and we're really excited to interview some owners of trucks, also to kind of show that atmosphere and what's going down. So big ups to Street Trucks. Don't forget, you can go to streettrucksmag.com, scroll to the bottom under subscribe, and you can subscribe to this publication. Of course, what we love about it is monthly, been around for over 2 decades, and we got to make sure we continue to support the real deal, and it hopefully stays around for even longer. Now, additionally, as you heard towards the beginning, All Time Low magazine, you can go to atlmagazine.com. You can subscribe. That's a bi-monthly publication. You get about 6 per year, and they also have shirts, banners, stickers, other merchandise available on their website. Lastly, 20 years ago, so actually 2 things. 20 years ago this weekend, I was at Spring Fling, put on Vital Signs. So make sure you check out our social media pages. Earlier this week, I posted a throwback photo, actually a behind-the-scenes photo from a Travis Nowak feature. Or at the time, our brothers in Severed, he had the full-size, the copper truck, so I posted that. Additionally, 24 years ago, we lost Biggie Smalls as the illest. Your style was played out like Arnold in a What You Talking About Willis. And I have not watched the new Netflix series. I'm sure many of you have. Definitely check it out. I heard it's really well done. I think Puffy was involved with it, but from everything that I've seen, it was done really well. And when I mean Puffy involved, I mean in this documentary style picture that you can watch through Netflix, but still bumping the classic. Originally, Life After Death was supposed to launch in late 96, fall 96, and I don't know exactly if it, was some of the fallout from the Tupac, beef, and obviously Pac getting killed, and then, for whatever reason, I don't know the real reason, but it was pushed out, and it was going to launch in March of 97, which it did. However, ironically, Big was killed that same month, and the double disc came out. It really was like an instant classic, 5 stars in the mic, or 5 mics in the Source magazine, and really, again, it was an instant classic. Very eerie, because you had the first album, Ready to Die, and then you have this one, Life After Death. It kind of starts, for those that don't know, the intro of it kind of plays off of the first album, and then it rolls in, obviously, double disc. The other interesting thing is, if you look at the cover of the album, whether you do that now digitally through like a Spotify or whatnot, I made a post on my personal Instagram, and I mentioned this. Michael Levine shot that epic cover, and it was a real cover. Big was there with the hearse, and it had BIG on the plate, and how eerie. He ends up getting gunned down, and he passes away that same month. But rest in peace, Biggie Smalls. So many classics out there, a lot of great verses. If you haven't in a long time, go revisit his catalog. There's a lot of guest verses that he did. Of course, Junior Mafia and Biggie Smalls, a couple of albums, and then some of the posthumous stuff that has been released. But with that being said, thanks again for all of the support. The numbers are on the rise. We appreciate all of you so much. Miggity Mike the Mayor and I will be gallivanting around this weekend at Orange Beach Invasion. Check those hashtags, OBI 2021 and Orange Beach Invasion, ODB. We on to the next one. We'll see you guys next week with an all-new episode. We got you. Peace.
Lieutenant, there is talk pertaining interpretation of problems. Describe them. Problems. There are doubts in your ability. There's too many blanks in your analogy. The enemy turns captain. The captain turns civilian. The lieutenant becomes casualty. The lieutenant becomes casualty. The enemy turns captain. The captain